Okay, let me find in my laptop if I can find that.
बस 1 मिनट चाहिए आपको 1 मिनट बस मैं 1 मिनट देता हूँ मैं आ रही हूँ वॉशरूम गई थी
No, sorry, I didn't get one. But let's because I know much, so I can explain you all the rules and algebraic expressions that we needed in to solve these equations, right? As we already done, let's do something a practice kind of thing today, and we'll see that how it goes. Okay. So the first thing is understanding algebra or algebraic maths, right? Here we deal maths in letters. We deal maths in letters, right? To form an equation, right? We will be using x, y, z, a, b, c, p, q, r, and so on. So these are the three main things, main letters that we are using in algebraic expressions to explain that thing, right? So if so, there are a couple of type of equations. So one is, let's say, A is linear equation, right? And the second type is quadratic equation, quadratic equations. So what are linear equations? Linear equations. Linear equation is where we are defining something like that: x plus 1 equals 2. Let's say this is an example, okay? Or if there are two variables, then we can say x plus y plus z equals 3, right? So these kind of equation where we have variables of single power, right? So you can see x is in single power, y is in single power, z in single power, right? So now there are certain mathematical things that we can go on to solve those equations where we can find that if it is a linear equation or not. So mostly linear equations are dealing with two variables, right? And the most prominent equation that we can also draw on a graph is the linear equation where y equals mx plus c. Okay, so this is a variable, right? And this is also a variable. So there is a relationship between these two variables, right? And this relationship can be drawn on a graph. If we have x, so you know the graph. Have you used graph in this way before? So this will be a negative x. All the values which come in this is the negative x. Here we have positive y, positive x, and negative y, right? And this is our 0, comma 0. I'm just looking at the 2D plane, right? So in 2D plane, we have two axes. One is x, one is y, and there are like four quadrants: one, two, three, and four. I'm not going in detail, but at least you should have some sort of knowledge that okay, we can place these values in a graph here. Okay, so to express this variable now, when I'm talking about this, let's take only the single variable or the single coordinate, where we are assuming that x is also positive and y is also positive, right? So if we draw a line like this, right? So, and if let's draw a parallel line to x-axis, there is a tilt, right? And there is a cut where it is cutting the line, or it is uh, dissectioning the y-axis. Okay. So to represent the relation between the x values, x comma y values, this is going to be the line. So how we draw this line, right? The question arises how we draw this line. Let's say we have a relationship where the value table looks like this. This is x, this is y. One, two. Okay, so now let's say if x is 0, y is 2. Right, let's start from here. If x is 0, y is 2. If x is 1, y is 3. If x is say 2, y is, let's say, 7. I'm just giving some random numbers, right? 3, let's say it is 9. If it is 4, let's say it is 10. If it is 5, then it will be, let's say, 13. If it is 6, let's say it is 14. Something like that. Okay, there is no relationship between these values, but I just want to plot these values on a graph. So if I take it as this, and we have like say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? So we as know that this point is known as 0, 0. Okay. Now this in this direction we have x, we in this direction we have y. Now if we have to plot these values, right? So let's say when x is 0, so x is 0 here, then y is 2. So this will be the point, right? X is 1, y is 3. So let's say this, right? X is 2, y is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it will be like this. We have a point over here. If x is 3, y is 9. If x is 4, it's 10, 10. So if we able to join from one point to other, let's say this one, if we can now join these pen dots, one is here, two, three, four. So even though it's not like a linear, it's not in a straight line. Means that you get the gesture that okay, this may be a line where it has a tilt over x-axis. Sorry, and there is intersection where this line is bisecting the y-axis, right? So to represent these kind of equations or these kind of relationship between two variables, we mentioning that y equals m x plus c, right? So if we can now point, so let's say I do not know what is the value of these variables, right? We can plot the next, and in the same linear way, let's draw this one. So now for x, now we are going to find the values with a relation, right? Not the arbitrary. Let's say y equals x plus 3, right? Now, if I place values of 0, so I'm placing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and 6. So can you tell me what will be the value of y if x is 0? Yes. So how you get that? I'm just substituting the value of the variable 0 plus 3, I will get 3. If I put y equals 1 plus 3, I will get 4. If I get y is equals to 2 plus 3, I will get 5. Right? And this way, this relationship keeps on going. So now I can write it down here: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if I now plot this, it will gives me what we are actually looking at. Let's me try. How hard I can try to get a straight line. Okay, let's believe that this is a straight line. Okay, this is y-axis. This is x-axis. Again, this point is 0 and 0, right? And now let's bisect these in some values. Let's make a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and we now place the dots. So now x is 0, y is 3, x is 1, y is 4, then 5, then 6. Oops. So this will be 4, right? If it is 2, this is going to be 5. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. I'm come to that. I'm come to that. Right? No worries with that. Just focus on what I'm doing right now, and then I will explain what the actual meaning of the coefficient f and the adjacent value of c. Okay. Let's write this tree. So 0, 1, 2, and then 3 with we have this much like this, then 4, then 5, then say 6 over here. Okay. Now we can have a straight line, right? So now we can attach this, but it's not the dots, it's my hand. Okay, cool. And now it can substitute like this. Okay. So now once we have this thing, right? And we can say that this straight line is exactly in the form of y equals mx plus c. Okay, so now what is m and what is c, right? So the c is the length of y-intercept. So this distance from 0 to that point where it is intersecting the y axis is the c variable, right? Yeah, 0 to that point. So because once we put 0 here, right, what we will get? 3, right? In any equation, when x is 0, y equals c, right? So that's the c intercept. And what will be the y? Oh, sorry, what will be the m then? M is the gradient. No, c is always not going to 0. C will always comes when x is 0. No, no, no. To get the value of c, we have to put x 0. Okay, because the line when it crosses the y. So for example, what if we had y equals, let's say, 3x plus 4, or control z, 3x minus 4, let's say this one, right? So in this case c is going to be minus 4, which will eventually, there is a line which we can look to this equation afterwards, but let's focus on in here. So the thing is that m is going to be the gradient of that line, the inclination, or we can say m is the gradient, the tilt, how tilted the line is, and c is the y-intercept. C is the y-intercept, right? So if you know these things, then only we can say now that at least now we have some sort of knowledge of a linear equation, right? And to solve these equations, we need two. So because we have so as many variable do we have, we need that much information. For example, if I say, first let's take an example of x plus y equals 4, right? Can we write it down in the form of y equals mx plus c? Yes, that's the thing. Now we are doing it. Okay, right. So now, because now we have to, so every formula, every equation that you can see, we had some sort of subjects which is we need to find. In some cases, we need to find, for example, if I say that x equals y minus c over m. Now, this is the thing that you are struggling with, that how it's happening, right? So solve these, first understand that how these are formulated, right? So we have, so what the scientists did, for example, they observe, they try to find some pattern, right? They then do experiments. So let's go up a bit, and they observe something, then they do some experiment, then they find the pattern. The experiments something like this: what if we can put the value of 0, what will be the value of 3? So then they observe these things, they put the values, and they get the equation. All right. So once the equation is there, then they can define the actual, or to form an equation also. Then they before, or sorry, before opting towards the equation, they try to give some kind of relationship between the variables. Example here, x and y, if I say what is the relationship between the y and axis, it simply says that in this pattern, as x increases, right, y is also increasing, right? So this is what we have seen: as x increasing, the y is also increasing. But when x is 0, right, there is a constant which will stay. So whatever the value beyond that x, it is increasing. But when x is 0, there is a constant, it will remain that, right? For this line, for this relationship of y and x, right? So that means that there is an addition of this particular variable in that kind of thing. I'm just trying to explain that how these equations, how these formulas, how these relationship are built, if we are thinking as a scientist, right? So they do observe. So this may be the actual pattern, we can say. They do observe, they do observe, then they do experiments, and you will see this kind of thing throughout the physics, right? Whenever we are sorry, whenever we are facing some formula, there is a rule or a theorem related to a scientist, and how they have come up with that particular relationship or the formula. These are the exercises they have done, right? So they do observe, they do experiments, then they give, or they come up with um, relationship relationship, right? Then they give the formula. then they give the formula. Formula, you can say formula or equation, which is a mathematical representation of the physical activity. Right, so these are the things that they come up with the equation, or you can say how these formulas are built up. Right, I'm not going with the each formula, but this is the normal pattern what scientists do to come up with solutions. Right, so now to solve these kind of equations we need to know some sort of algebraic operations. Right, algebraic maths, let's do something. If first is if A equals B, B equals C, then A equals C. Confirm? Right? Second, A plus B equals C is also C equals A plus B. Any difference? Okay. Third, A times B is equals to B times A. Correct? Okay. Four, if we have, let's say, X plus Y is equals to uh, A plus B, right? So we can define our subjects. Let's say if I have to define, we can do it in the four-way thing, right? Now we can, because there are four variables, we can see four subjects, right? For example, in this case, if we can say v square equals to u square plus 2as. 2as, how many variables are there? One, two, three, four. So there can be four subjects, right? If we have v equals u plus at, again we have four subjects, right? So we can we can first we have to look for what subject we are going to solve this example, and that will tell us that can be tell by what is being asked, right? For example, let's solve this equation for first subject x. Okay, so the equation is x plus y equals a plus b, right? We need to solve for x. So when we are saying solve equation for a subject, that means it should be in the form of x equals, or to be precise, subject equals. This need to be here. Subject need to be in the right and in the left hand side. Okay, right. So let's do this for the subject x. This is the equation, right? So what we need is we need x equals. What we need to remove? The plus y, right? So the plus y. So we need to remove plus y. It's not the y. We need to remove the plus y. All right. Okay. Let's see. So to remove x, what we can do. So the rule is, I'm also explaining the rule too. We can add, subtract, multiply, divide, root. That means whatever mathematical operations, uh, whatever math operation we are doing in left hand side, we need to do the same, the same on right hand side. So now this is the basic. Whatever operations we are doing for any like operand, right? We have to do the same on the both sides. Our equation is x plus y equals a plus b, right? So what I'm doing is, if this is plus, so now if I am subtracting something, the same amount from the same number, it will give us 0, right? If I am, for example, if I am, what we can say, dividing the same number by the same digit, we will get 1. Is that true? Okay. Similarly, so these two need to be known now. Okay. Get it? So now what I'm doing is, we need the x. So what I'm going to do is, we are subtracting y from this side. So I have to do subtraction from this side, right? So this y minus y becomes 0. And what I get is a plus b minus y. So if I'm going to solve the equation in form of subject x, we will get a plus b minus y. Got it? So now let's do the second one. Let's make y subject. Now we have the same equation, x plus y equals a plus b, right? So now tell me, what should I do? If y is the subject, we need to remove x, right? So how we can remove x if it is in the if it is the addition? Exactly, very nice. So let's do that. X minus x plus y equals a plus b minus x, right? The the parallel I'm trying to draw is something like this. We can also say minus x is equals to minus 1 multiplying by x, right? Right, in some cases we will you will see this one when when we need to try to change the when we trying to let's say if it is in the minus, then what we have to do, we this means minus x means whatever it is. If it is minus something, it's it is that minus 1 is multiplying with that particular number, right? So because what does this mean? That we believe or we know that if I x eventually means 1 multiplied by x, simple, right? So this is the main reason, because if there is a negative sign, that means there is a negative 1 which is multiplying with the x with that number. Okay, all right. We will see that. So x minus x is equals to 0 plus y equals a plus b minus x. So this makes us y equals a plus b minus x. Got it? Very fine. Okay, now let's change the subject to a. Let you will definitely able to see that. Now a is the subject. Fortunately or unfortunately, a is on the right hand side. So what we are going to do is b from both the side. But before doing that, let's make it a plus b on the right hand side, right? And here comes our rule, which I have already mentioned to you, that a plus b uh, equals yeah. So a plus b is equals to uh, b plus a. Okay. So, or the right, if these are both same, I can also write it in same way. A plus b equals x plus y. X plus y. So this will be easy, right? Now, as you tell me, sorry, please come up again. Yes. Magnificent. Who said you don't know the algebra behind the math and the equations? Right. So now let's, so this will again, a becomes a plus 0 is equals to x plus y minus b. So now you see a pattern, because these things, when I'm saying that subtracting from the both side or adding from the both side, whatever it is, uh, uh, it seems like a bit childish as per our, like, year standard, right? So I would like you to see a pattern, or like to see or observe what will be the end result, right? So the end result is, if there is a positive variable on the right hand side, or the left hand side, what eventually happened is, if we want to transfer this to this side, it becomes negative. This is the thing that you have to remember. That's it. Right? So this is the only thing that still now we have done. So instead of going through with these particular steps to solve the equation, we can just do this thing, right? It gives you the same result. Getting my point? Again, so you can see this here, you can see this here. What is happening here? There is x a positive over here. That means when we transfer to the left and right hand side, it becomes the negative. Now you have to remember this, okay? That's the one rule. That's the only one rule. Okay. Now, as I told you that we can just give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Can we take a 2 minutes break? Okay. Okay. Thanks for your patience. Okay. Now, this is like we are subtracting from a side. Okay. Now, take an example of where we have, okay, we have, let's say, x minus y equals to 3, right? So, first, we are taking x as a subject, and secondly, we are taking y as a subject. Okay. We can only take subject which are variables, not the constant value. So, we can't take like 3 as a subject because it's already there. So, we can only make x and y. So now first with the x. So what we are going to do to form x equals whatever it is. So what we are going to do is, tell me. The question is this one, right? So this. So first we are making x. Oh, yes, we need to add y. True, true. Now you are getting something. Okay, x minus y is there. Now I have to add y from this side, 3 plus y, right? So this becomes 0, x plus 0 equals to y plus 3, right? I can interchange here. So that will make us x equals y plus 3. Okay. Now, the second question arises for the subject y. What we are going to do is, okay. Now there will be this. This is going to be a two-step thing, right? So what we are going to do is once we first we have to get rid of the x. That's the true thing. To do that, we are minus x from both the side. Let's do this. This is what you are saying. Okay, 3 minus x. That's understandable. Now this will be 0 minus y equals 3 minus x. Okay. This. So now we have minus y equals 3 minus x, right? So still we haven't got the y thing, y equals. Why? Because there is a negative sign is there, right? So what I told you that if there is a negative sign, that means minus 1 is there, right? So it is 3 minus x. So to get rid of minus 1, what we are going to do is we know that minus a times minus a is equals to a square, right? If I say a times a, that is, so if we do not have any sign, that means a positive, right? So if a times a equals a square, if I'm multiplying minus a with a minus way, it will again a square. That means if I'm multiplying two, so if I multiply two negatives, it becomes a, the product will be the positive, right? Minus a times minus b will be ab. Got it? Okay. So again, what has happened here is minus a times a multiplied by minus 1 times b, right? So this is just literally we are multiplying minus 1 with each other, right? So this is happening here, and this will gives us equals to ab. So this minus 1 times minus 1 is again 1. So once multiplied by any number, it's the same number. Okay. So now we know that to get a positive, we need to multiply both the side by minus 1, right? So that's what I'm doing. Now I'm multiplying minus 1 from this side and minus 1 to this side, right? Understand? So this minus minus will become positive. So I'm just neglecting that. Y equals. So this minus 1 times 3. So minus 1 times 3 will be minus 3. This minus 1 times minus x will be positive x. Get it? Or no? Just tell me. You get it? Sure. Okay, cool. So now the y will becomes x minus 3. I'm just changing these equations, right? So this is how we solve the equation in terms of when we the subject is y, right? So this is a bit typical what we now what does had happened. This is the same thing, negative y. So when we say on the top, we derive a rule that if a variable is positive on LHS, when it goes to the other side it will become negative. This is same thing true for a negative value, it becomes positive, true. So let's do this one in the way that I have explained to you. The our equation is, now this is the more appropriate way to solve this equation. Instead of going through with these all the steps, we can just remember that it is a negative number, it become positive number. Okay, so we have x minus y equals 3. This is the equation, right? So we know this, so now we have to solve this y. So I can swap both of the values. So I can take, what if I can take this value here and y here? I can change, na? Just like that. So if I say x, so this is positive 3, this way it will become minus 3. This is negative y, this will become positive y. So now y equals x minus 3. This is the same thing happened here. Amazing, right? So the rule is to solve. So first we have to see what is the subject, right? Okay, now up till this point we can say that we are good with this. Okay, now we can derive a let's say we can derive a framework or a solution pattern, we can say. First, write it down what is given, right? Second, what is asked, right? Third is uh, correct equation, right? Fourth is rearrange for the subject. And you know what the subject means, right? The variable which is we are looking for, right? We are solving. That's the subject. Up till this, we are good, right? So now we have seen the rule. The one rule is if a variable is positive in left hand side of equal sign, right? Of equal, it will become negative in RHS. Getting? So this is the basic rule that we have derived till now. Okay. Now let's say we had an equation now. So now let's see another example of an equation where it is ax plus by is equals to c, right? So now we have one, two, three, four, and five subjects. We don't know the value of c. Okay, so again, but we know what is c is, right? So it's already a subject. So we are not dealing with the subject as in c. So so we are not solving this equation because this equation itself is solving it's for c. Now take an example. So now first we take a subject. We are going to take subject x. Second, we are doing it for a. Then we will doing it for b, and then we are going to do for y. Okay. So I will do for, let's say, x and b. Your task is to do for a and b. So I'm pointing it out. These two Jessica will do. These two Mandeep will do. Is doing. Okay. All right. Let's do it that way. Who go to gym after taking bath? My son. That the answer is my son. Okay, no worries. Let's do this one. We have now, I'm writing it down again. Oops. Ax plus by is equals to c. I'm writing it down for first x. Okay. So we have a combined value of by. So whatever the product, we can put as it is on the other side just by looking at what the sign is. If it is positive, we can put the whole thing to the other side with a negative sign. Okay. So now this is what I'm doing. Ax equals c minus by. All right. Now, right? So now it's still not in the form of x equals. So what I need to do is, we know that whatever we if we divide the same number by the same, we will get 1, right? Right. So to get the 1, what I'm doing is I'm dividing both by a.
Honey, how long?
10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So now this will become 1. So that means 1 multiplied by x equals c minus by over a. That means x equals c minus by over this. Oops. So this is the solution for the x as a subject. Fine. So now observe this. What has happened here? What has happened here? We know, or we can say that if a product, if a variable is in product or in the multiplication on LHS, it will be in the divisible part on the right hand side. For example, if I say ax is equals to 3, then x will be 3 by a. Okay, so I'm just taking, if it is in product, on the other side it will be a divisible. Okay, the divider we can say. So if it is in the product on the LHS, it will be a divisible on the other side, right? So it's also true. So it is also true for this one. See over here, if a if a over b equals, let's say, x over y. So we know that if uh, like a is in multiply over here, in the other side it will becomes a denominator, it will go hit this side. It also true for the other side. That means if it is in the divisible side, it will become product on the other side. Okay, so let's do it over here. For example, if we have something like this, a over b, that means an expression which is divided by some other expression which is equating to an expression x, which is also in the form of x over y or x divided by y. Right? So we can interchange these variables. Okay, we can interchange. So that means if let's say I can now rewrite this as a y, right? So I take y over this side and x over this side. B x equals 1, because what left here is only 1. Not get, not getting. I will explain like this. Uh, so as I said that we can, because if it is in denominator, in right hand side it will becomes a numerator on the other side. All right. So it will be a times y is equals to x times b. Okay. Now, how we achieve this one as per simple rule, right? So we have the end result or end goal. How we end up with this one? To explain this, I again go to these expressions. Let's say we have to solve this expression for y. We have to solve this expression for y. What I'm going to do is by a, correct. So what I did is I divide this by a and I divide a by here. Okay. So this will cut it down. Y becomes x b over a. Simple. Okay. Now, if we have to revert to this situation, right? Revert to this situation, a over b equals x over y. What is has happened is, let's say we have a equals x. We are simply first, let's divide it b over here, right? So it's simply, we are not dealing with anything else. It's just an expression that if an expression is in this form, we can simply interchange these values. Okay, that's the one thing. The second thing, most importantly, is if we have, for example, let's take another example. Let's say 3x plus 4y is equals to 5. This will make you something clear, right? Let's solve it for subject y. Cool. So now we are, because we are going to solve this for y, we can say we can, as we have already done this one over here, what we have done is we have changed the whole expression to the other side. Similarly, we can change it here too. So 4y is equals to 5. This is the whole expression. So this is like a whole expression 3x. So if it is going to this side, it will become negative 3x. Okay, so if this is, so simply this is the basic concept that we have learned before, that if expression is in the form of positive on left hand side, it will become negative on the other side. Okay, so this is the simple thing. Now we have 4y directly without any doubt. We can say that y equals 5 minus 3x over, right? So to sum up again, as I have written down one rule over here. If a variable is positive in LHS of equals, it will become negative in RHS and vice versa. Right, so right, and vice versa. Right. So the second rule says if so this is, we can say, this is the coefficient of the variable or the multiplier, we can say. All right. So generally it is a coefficient in algebraic terms, right? So if I'm saying if an expression expression is a multiplier in LHS, it will become divider in RHS. This is the layman statement, right? So whatever the multiplier is, for example, if for example if we have only just say uh, 3x square equals uh, 48, right? So this will be, we will see these kind of thing in when we are going to solve this equation, s equals ut plus half at square, right? So once we have this ut, s equals ut plus half at square, so sometimes it will becomes like this. So we can say 3t square equals 48, let's say, right? So there is a coefficient or an expression over this side. If it is in the multiplier, it will become a divider on the other side. So that's what we did. T square equals 48 over 3, which becomes 16, right? And then we know now, this is the second part where we will do it tomorrow, where we are dealing with the quadratic equations, where we need to solve the two power equations, right? So this will be like this thing 16, and then we are taking root of the both side. That means t equals root of 16 is 4, so this will be the t value. Sorry. Oh yes. Yes, exactly, very nice, very nice. So if you are saying here, this, the other side is looking to perfectly fine. Now I believe that you are good to move forward, but still there are some confusion. We will do it tomorrow, right? And we will do some kind of more algebraic expressions, algebraic equations to sort it out. How we are going to sort it out, these type of equations, because there are much not like this, but there is a particular trying to, we are going to try to solve some kind of equation, something like this. And we remember these equations, a plus b. You remember this one? 2ab and a minus b square is equals to a square plus b square minus 2ab, right? And if it is a square minus b square, then it will be a plus b times a minus b, right? So we will deal with these kind of equations later on and see how it goes. I will, because solving quadratic equation is bit tricky, but not impossible. Yeah, so this I believe, because since you have told me this thing, the half becomes two. I am pretty much sure that you are good to go now. Okay, so the homework will be in the Skypad. Try to list. So I'm just listing in here so that you also remember, I also remember. Yes, just right now after the class. I'll just have it after having my dinner. I'm very starving. Let's do this. I will do it straight away. Okay, homework will be Skypad list what is given, what is asked, and uh, mention correct equation, and then try to solve. Oh, try to rearrange rearrange for the subject, right? In this case, what will be the subject? The variable, asked variable. Cool. So this was going to be your homework. As much as you can do, you can do it, right? So, yeah. So let's save in the Jessica folder. Then I'm going